What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Alchemy Pay today, ACH. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. I've got my camera back. I'm back at home base. It's a little bit late in the night, a little bit late in the evening right now, but we're getting to work. So let's get into it. Here we are. 3 hours, 8 minutes left in this 4-hour period here. This is the second 4-hour period of the day being the 15th of April. We have about 19 hours left in this day. 2.7 cents now. You had a nice pump at the end of yesterday, didn't you? 30% to the upside where you're chilling today. Looking like you'll probably continue on with this momentum to the upside. I think that this pump doesn't stop here, guys, but let's just see. I mean, that's good volume. Nothing too crazy, but exactly what you need to see on this kind of endeavor. Now you just need to keep going. You need to keep pushing, because if not, it is just a lower high in a series of lower highs, and this could lead to, you know, some form of a double bottom or even a slightly lower low or a trending low. You know, you could still be trending to the downside. So in order to validate this as a low, to really truly validate this as a low, we want to see you get above this high here. But right now, this is a pretty damn good look, I will say. I mean, there's aspects of validation that are happening with this. From a high to a low, you closed right above your golden ratio, and on the first attempts too. If you can do that for 2 days in a row, I think to me that would be enough validation. So today closing above 2.55 cents would be very validating to this being the low. But ultimately getting above that high and certainly just pushing a little bit higher from here would really help with that validation, I think. Really, maybe 3 cents, or sorry, 3.03 cents would be a better kind of area to look for. But closing today above $0.255, closing above that golden ratio there, that's also something to be proud of. Okay, so looking at the daily RSI, you're definitely postured in a very good position right now. Being above the 60 like this, if you can maintain readings above the 60, that's really good. Here you got above it, then you got out of it, then you got above it, then you got out of it, above it, out of it. Didn't even get to it, tipped it, and then rejected, right? Don't do that. Actually live here like you did back here, and you could get some persistent growth, or growth that persists, maybe is a better way to phrase that. If we're looking at this on let's go on a 4-hour. We'll look at the weekly in a second, but let's go on the 4-hour real quick. 4-hour time frame, looking strong, guys. Looking really, really strong. This is all good stuff. Yeah, you might pause here for, who knows, today, maybe 4 hours. You might not be pausing too much longer at all and be continuing to move up by the time you watch this video. I don't know, but soon enough. I mean, it's not going to be too long before this thing continues going higher. The 1 hour looks good. I suppose it depends. Right? You're at 2.7 cents now. If you can't really get above like 2.9 cents and you don't see some more volume come in, it doesn't have to be at this ratio, right? If you're moving above this, you don't have to see volume that's bigger than this. Just maybe something that's a little bit bigger than this here, right? Something that's larger than what these average on the lower ends were looking like. Definitely above what the average is. You want to see something like that. If you're building and you have volume that's decent, but it doesn't have to be as big as this, I think that you're fine. If you try to build and there's no volume here, you get some kind of like double top, or maybe even a slightly higher high or a slightly lower high, and there's volume like this, exactly like what you have here, and then you start moving down, that would be a pretty bad look. And I shouldn't say pretty bad look. On a 1 hour time frame, it's a bad look, but on a daily time frame, weekly time frame, it's insignificant. It won't matter. So you would just retrace this. All that would mean is if you pushed up but you didn't have any follow through, all that would mean is that you're going to see a retracement of this move overall, which could take you down, you know, probably back down to these areas of resistance here. But I digress. I'm just saying, I would like all that to say, if that last part confuses anybody at all that is to say continue, grow. Today would be preferable, but even if you take a pause for a day, as long as you're not moving down too much, I think that you're fine. And actually, on that note, let's kind of set up some parameters here. So let's see. From a low to a high, you don't want to go below 2.5645 cents. 2.5645. That's at least on Coinbase. You don't want to go below there. Let's just say industry standard 2.56 cents. You don't want to go below $0.0256. Okay. If you do that, you likely will interact with 0.0237, which that's not really that big of a deal, is it? And then potentially even down to about 2.1 cents, something like that. You know, it would give back a lot of this move, this recent pump that you had. But I mean, tomato, whatever, man. Even if you do go down here, you're going to find support. It'll be a higher low, and you'll return to these prices in no time. I doubt that's what happens. I'm not calling for that. I'm saying if you interact with this line, if you find support on it, okay, maybe you're fine. But if you go below it, then something in this area could be what we could expect. Okay, so those are your parameters for the downside, little like 2.56 cent area. Hold that as support. Don't wick below it. Don't break below it, especially, right? Let's see. And even if you do, it's not a big deal. It's not the end of the world. High to low here. Just close above yesterday's high. That's your bullish parameters. Just close above the high would be nice, I guess, but close above the daily closing high right there. Close above that. Yeah, just keep going. Really, I suppose if you want something that's a little bit more of a target, close above 2.83 cents, $0.0283. Okay, close above that. By close, I don't mean wick. I mean get up there and close in 19 hours. Close above that. If you do that, that validates the bullish notion, and that really will help validate this as a low. I think you're in the right area to validate this as a low right now, even with this kind of move. But you need to continue. If you don't continue, similar behavior might beget similar results. We're looking for different behavior to beget different results, right? That's what we want. Even if you move up a little bit, you kind of consolidate, right? You didn't do that on any of these times, right? And then maybe you retrace, you move down, but it's different behavior, so you get a different result. Instead of a lower low, you'll get a higher low and build. And I don't expect that this is just going to be some straight shot to the moon. It might be, but odds are you stop at some areas here. I would anticipate relatively soon, probably around, I don't know, honestly. You could go up to about 3.2 cents, about there. That could be your stopping point, right around this high, around these areas where you found resistance, support here, support there, resistance back there. It makes sense to me. Or you might just beeline it, man. Go straight to the golden ratio. We've seen that happen a couple times recently. So maybe you do go all the way up to like 3.6 to 4 cents. That's your golden ratio zone there. You could even go through it. We've seen a lot of cryptos go through their golden ratios on the first attempt, hit their 786, 886 area, and just continue to rock from there. I don't know if that happens here, though. We'll see. I'm not completely convinced yet. Let's just stick with closing above yesterday's closing high. If we can do that, I think that's fine. Ideally, closing above 2.83 cents would be something good, right? It's nice to close 2 days green in a row, but with a little bit of continuation, that helps. Okay. Let's get off of this topic and move on. Okay, so looking at the weekly time frame, we are in this very large consolidation phase, very large accumulation phase, I would even say. We're finding resistance here time and time again. I have a feeling that once was enough to hold you as resistance, twice even, and the third time, I can't believe it, but it did happen. Fourth time, no sir, it's not going to happen. There's no such thing as a quadruple top. It doesn't exist, because that's just all that is. If it is a quadruple top, it's just an inevitable breakout. There's no such thing. It doesn't exist. There is such a thing as a triple top, but I don't think that's what this is. I don't think we're going to get that clearance to the downside. Triple tops are oftentimes false signals, just like triple bottoms are. It's basically an inevitable breakout waiting to happen. It's very rare that you see a triple top or a triple bottom perform the same way that you would expect a double top or a double bottom to perform. Just for fun there. Just for, I don't know, educational purposes on that. A side note, I don't know, man. I'm stumbling on my words, but here we are, 2.7 cents now, at the kind of mid-range of this consolidation phase that you've been in since, really, February of 2023. So for over 2 years now, you're at the mid-range of this. Looking like you mean business and you want to go to the upside here. Let's look at something with a little bit more history, so that it's a little bit more reliable. From a high, all-time high, to the cycle low in 2022, December. That's also your golden ratio right there at about 5.26 cents. You break above that, and honestly, I think this next move will break above that. You're not stopping until you at least see this area. But my suspicion is you're not going to stop in this area. You're not actually going to stop at 9 to 12.5 cents. I think your minimum zone really should be looked at as about 17.9 to 12.4 cents. We're going to move it up a little bit, with the exception, even the expectation that you could move higher, potentially seeing prices as high as 42 cents. I'm not so keen on that belief personally, but something between 12.4 cents, 30 cents. Let's just see where these fibs line up here real quick, high to low. Yeah, 30 cents, just above 30 cents really could be a good target. If not, anything between, I would say 12. I like 12.4. That's your golden ratio there, right at about 12 cents. So I like that as a minimum, 12 cents. And then the maximum would be just over 30 cents. If I had to give a prediction as to where I think this thing's going to go, I'm going toward the upside, man. Definitely something above 17 cents, if not even above 30 cents. Maximum possibility would be 42.7 cents. I don't think you get above that on this run. Who am I to say that? Watch you go up dramatically higher, but that's already, we're talking about some decent gains here, right? If we're looking at this, let's see. From its current market cap, the minimum gain would be a 4.3x. The maximum potential gain could be as big as like a 15x. I'm going for something a little bit in between, maybe like a 7x is what I would expect, something around 20 cents or higher. Over 30 cents, I could see that's a 10 to 11x. What is Alchemy Pay's market cap? What is it? I need to get some water, man. We need some water. I say we, it's just me here, man. Let's see. It's taking a second. I had to reboot my internet because I had a, well, whatever. Alchemy Pay, here we go. $244 million. Decent volume coming in. That's actually extraordinary volume coming in there. $244 million. A 10x would be 2.4 billion, 2.45 billion, and a 100x would be 24.5 billion. This thing could definitely see some short-term growth and long-term growth, right? Whenever I tell you that 42.7 cents is the maximum potential target by the end of this next move, I mean that. That could be by the end of May, or more likely sometime by the end of June. It could be a little bit later than that, but this end of the next move that we're talking about is not the end of the cycle prediction, right? The end of cycle prediction, like I was saying, could be as much as 100x from its current price, and that would give you, that would bring about like $3 prices, just under $3 prices. So Alchemy Pay, in the short term, I think it has a little bit more to go. Like in the very short term, over the coming day, next couple of days, next few days, you're probably going to move up to about 3 cents, or maybe even a little bit above there. Let's see, probably about 3 to 3.3 cents at the most is what I would think. And then you probably consolidate a little bit. It's not just going to be a straight line like I drew all the way up there. On a weekly basis, it might seem like that. On a monthly basis, it might seem like that. But speaking of weekly and monthly, on a weekly basis / 2-month basis from now, I would expect that Alchemy Pay is at 12 cents or higher, the highest being 42.7 cents. I'm looking for a 17 to 30 cent price specifically myself by the end of June. That's the expectation. And then toward the end of the cycle, which nobody knows when that's going to be, but I've been guessing for a while that it'll be Q4 of this year. I'm thinking November specifically for altcoins and October for Bitcoin, but it could be December. It could top off earlier. You never know. And where it could top off, your guess is as good as mine. I think that $1.30 is chump change. Technically, it is the minimum target in my opinion, but that's chump change for this thing. I think that you'll see prices that are above $3. I even think that you could see prices that are as high as $10, genuinely speaking. I think that you could see $11 or more. It's very common with the 2272 to go just above that. And I know that that's a little bit crazy from the current price. I mean, that's where we're talking about like a 400x, right? But a 400x from here, maybe that is a bit crazy, actually. Let's see. Because 100x would be 25. Yeah, maybe you don't see that. And it would be just under 100 billion. It would be just under, and that's, I suppose it's doable. I don't expect it though. No offense. That's a lot. You are in your second cycle. I'm gonna stick with it actually. I'll be honest. Actually, maybe it is possible, but possible does not mean likely. That the likely outcome, in my opinion, would be something around 3 to 440. That's my expectation personally. You could stop anywhere along the way. $8, $7.60, $11 is a possibility, but I doubt it. I really do doubt it, but it is something that is a possibility, honestly. $1.30 is a possibility as well, but again, I doubt that you stop there. I'm more expecting something in between, specifically this purple zone here, but I'm just rambling at this point. Good job, Alchemy Pay. Again, for the short-term stuff, I'm expecting that you do grow today. What we're looking for is that you do grow a little bit more. Get above this high point here. Get above, really, you want to get above, what was it? Was it like 2.9? I mean, technically, I guess just today, over the next 18 hours, 55 minutes, you just want to close above yesterday's daily closing high, ideally closing above this wicking high. Yes, is that what it was? Or is it on a weekly basis? Let's see. What was it? Or was it a daily basis? Yeah, okay, it was the daily basis, this low close. Close above 2.83 cents. That's right. That's what it is. Close above that today or tomorrow. If you don't do it today, if you close above it over the coming days, you're fine. That just helps validate this as a low and validate the notion that you are continuing to grow right now. Even if you find turbulence here, if you move up here and you find turbulence, that's okay. You can find turbulence and still grow. It doesn't mean that you're going to new lows. So don't get thrown off by that. I have a feeling, a very strong suspicion, in case it's been unclear at all, that the majority of this low to high move here is done. Okay, it's done, but that doesn't mean that the move overall is done. In fact, the move overall is probably just getting started, but you've probably got a little bit more up to go. Then you'll find some resistance, and then you'll continue with your next phase up, and then you'll find some resistance, and then you'll continue with your big move whenever you break out of all this, whenever you break out of this high and this whole range that you've been in for the last 2 years. But I think the message is clear, right? A little bit more to go, relatively speaking, on the day-to-day. Week to week, you've got a lot more to go. Month to month, you've got a lot more to go. And by the end of the cycle, you've got dollars on the brain. So I'm rambling at this point, just repeating things in different ways so that hopefully everybody understands it. Hit the like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thank you all for being here. Weekly RSI looks great. Awesome, man. Bouncing right off the 40. We love it. Love it. Daily RSI looking good, very strong posturing, right? We just want to see you do something different, so continue, right? And then yeah, everything else as you go down the list, it just looks better. So this makes me think today will be a good day. But again, I'm rambling, so I'll end that video there. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye.